Hello everyone, welcome to the Dev Method. My name is Ricky. This next episode, we're going to be talking about creating a React app from scratch. So this is part 2 of a video series where we're going to create a React app, but without create React app. Some of the pitfalls that we saw last time in the video, we're talking about when you get a create React app, you might find yourself somewhat stuck or in a corner with expanding the project's capabilities, such as adding different files to your project. There's actually a lot in there that you might not need. And then at some point, you're going to want to take control of your build process and change the settings that go into the actual project that your development team's working on. So we're just going to take a backseat today, and we're not going to be as formal as to go through any kind of process. The first thing that I said that we were going to do today is add JSX capability to our Create React app. And the way we're going to do that today in the format for the show will be, we're just going to start with not necessarily any linear timeline plan. And you're going to watch me fail because I want you guys to see what it's really like to program. And this is not necessarily like programming a new feature, but this is getting a project set up. It is something, though, to learn that programming is not perfect and that everybody makes mistakes along the way, and what really counts is the final output at the end. The journey, how we get there, though, will help you give you an insight as to what it's like, maybe in my mind, maybe you're in an average developer's mind, from getting from point A to point B. So our point A today is that we have a Webpack builds going on right now, and what we want to do is actually expand its capabilities so that we can start building with different file types other than just JavaScript. And the first one's going to be JSX. So JSX is actually a syntax for laying out your React components in a composable type of way. It looks very, very, very similar to HTML and HTML attributes. It does eventually translate into HTML, but that's the part that React extracts away for you. What we're going to be doing today is adding its capability into our already existing JS files. So you can write JSX files, which is what React did many years ago, but we're actually going to be putting it in our JS files. So we need a couple of capabilities with our build settings that we have. So the first thing we have to start off with, though, is we have to take some of our settings that we're currently using and putting them into a configuration file. So watch me do that now. Just gonna open up, boom. Oh, there you go. Yeah, sure, get an update. And I want Visual Studio Code. Which project file did I put this in? I think I put this in Webpack with Ricky. Let me give that a go. CD Webpack with Ricky. Let's take a look. Nice. Yes. Okay, so this is actually a project that I've already been working on to get set up for the next part that we want. And the first screen kind of gives it all away. So part of working with our Webpack project, let's just take a look at some of the files we have here. I have an index.html file, which we use for templating into our React configuration. I also take these styles, and then I've added the styles for CSS file, or I'm sorry, I added styles in the CSS files so that we can use those in the application as well. And then on the root of all this, we have this webpack config. There are a lot of capabilities built into this, so I will be coming back to this and referring to it from time to time, just so I can remember what the settings are. Of course, I could always go online and search for the answers as well. So, what are the other things? We have back with Ricky, sample debug, new web app. So I think it's new web app. That's the one I want. So new web app. Oop. Is this the one? Okay, so Yes, okay. I have a couple of files here already set up for us. So something that you didn't see, one of the reasons why it took me so long to make this next video is I actually already went through this once, and then my camera actually died on me, and it didn't save all the things that I had recorded. So I had everything on my computer screen, but I just didn't have my face. Here's what I did. Just to knock out some things here. Let's just do a quick review of what we had from before, and then we'll come back to this kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to get rid of this window, make this the full screen so we're not too distracted. And let's look at the package.json, right? We have these scripts. And so I made a commit from the end of the last video in a Git repository, just locally on my computer. That way I can actually show you what's changed. So maybe just to start it off, let me just show you via the terminal all the files that have changed. Oh, git status. All right. So I made changes to the package.json. Mainly some of the dependencies got changed, like we added more, so that's the package-lock. And then I made some updates to the index.js file. And some of the new files I added was this Babel RC file. I added also Ricky.js file. And then I added our main one that I wanted to talk about first, which is the webpack.config.js. So this is just a JavaScript file that I added in, and what we're doing is we're actually, let's see, we're using Webpack, right? And when we run Webpack, one of the first things it does is it looks for a configuration file if you have one defined, and if you don't, it adds its own default configuration. I've also set the modes of which they are, but I could actually separate my files differently if I wanted to. Right now, I don't really have a requirement or like a special need to do that. So I've left our build prod and our dev prod still be separated by just the command line argument of mode here. But then in the webpack.config.json, this is just regular JSON, and actually this is also accessible by Node, so you're going to see some Node stuff in here. And Node helps us with getting to the file system events. We could traverse the file system and look for files in a directory or a path. And so actually that's what I'm using here. I'm just using the built-in path module that we're maybe very familiar with Node. If not, this is a cool one you should be looking up. Remember, everything's about entries and outputs, and it's like the entry into your code base builds that dependency tree and then figures out how to combine it all into an ES5 standard JavaScript file and then bundle it all together for you for your website. So what I did here was get that entry file, which is our source index.js. If I did not specify this, this actually would still work. Let me actually test that out. Let me just say, cut that out, save. And if I do, let's see, node start, oh, not node, npm start. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we got some other things that I think are failing. Failed to compile. Is it telling me why? Doesn't have render, doesn't know what that is. Let me fix that real quick. This is a perfect example of when things go wrong. What do we do? And so far I've been just reading the output here and reading what the error is, and it says it's in the index.js, so it actually knows to go there. Pretty sweet. So I don't actually have to specify that. That actually does pass that test. But let me go figure this out really quick. Render. It doesn't know what render is. Because I didn't do this part here, the JSX part. Yeah, so this is perfect. This is actually where we want to be. We'll come back to that. So I have the entry, and now I have the output, which is a object, and it's two things. It's the file name, so the final name of the file, and I could also give that like, I don't know, I think it's like content hash, right? There's a couple of other settings that you can do. I'm just gonna be really simple right now and not pass in any variable arguments to that name, and just give it the plain old bundle.js. And then the path to resolve it at, I'm putting in the distribution folder when it gets built. But notice when it is a webpack-dev-server, that's this one here. That is another dependency that I need installed, just for your information. When I run the dev server, it does look for this configuration, and it actually is going to resolve at a particular path, and I've chose it to resolve here. And so I do path.resolve, the dir name, meaning the current directory's name where this file, this config file is located, and then that's the directory to store it in. Same thing with the dev server. So dev server also has options that we can use too. Now, here's the thing. I actually don't think this is totally correct. I'm going to go to my recent project here and look at what I did for dev server there. Okay, so dev server actually does have quite a few things. There's file name, there's content, there's this hot, okay, a bunch of other stuff. But what it does do for us, if our dev server doesn't have it defined, it actually will take it from what's here up above. So that's kind of cool. Not every single setting, but some of those settings. Shoot, I lost this. All right, here we go. So that's the dev server. I have a content base for the dev server, which is this distribution here. Now, let's see. Okay, so it's got JS files, and it's using the Babel Loader. Okay, and Babel Loader, if you haven't looked at something like this yet, this is a loader that goes in through module or modules. Might be modules. Let me double check that. Good thing I have this project to look for, to look back at. It is module and then rules. Okay, so I had that right. Let me go back. All right. Module rules is an array, an object. We have a test. We have an exclude, which is an optional parameter, but I'm just saying exclude anything in the node modules. And then I have use, and then either an array or a string of loaders to use. So in this case, I'm using the Babel Loader right there. And then the test is just a regex of anything that ends with .sjs. I could also do like, SJS, just JavaScript, but I could also use SJX as something to load with this loader as well. So that's okay, that's all good to go. And that's really it when it comes to my configuration file. That's all I really want set up for now. But now the next thing is like, let's see what other dependencies I need to make sure that this Babel Loader is going to run as expected. So one of the things that I did install was this, which is the Babel preset React. I have this Babel preset env, and then this Babel core. So this preset is actually an aggregation of many different things, components, build toolish Babel thingies that I need for React to work. So that's why I'm kind of surprised when I run this and it does not work. I do have a Babel RC file, and it shows the presets is actually declared here. It says presets, and then it's an array of string, and we have Babel preset React. So if I run this, let's do npm run build dev. Yeah, so I got an issue. And let me look up again. It might be the same thing as before. Yeah, okay, render. Okay, unexpected token. And that's actually due to this here. So I actually did figure this out in my last project. Let me go look at that real quick. Okay. All right, so here it is, Babel Loader. All right, and let's look at my Babel RC. Okay, that is the same preset React. The next thing I want to look at is actually my package.json. Is there something here that I missed? Let me just do a screenshot, grab this, go back to the other project, open it up. Yeah, preset, and let's see, package.json. All right, where's my screenshot? Oh, I need to copy it maybe? Maybe paste it? Can I paste? Paste? Show the clipboard. Aha, cool. So, let's see, Babel core, same. Okay, that's the same. Preset React is the same. Babel Loader is the same. I do have this like CSS loader, but I'm not totally worried about that right now. And I have the plugin, style loader. Okay, Webpack. Okay, same. CLI, same. Webpack-dev-server, same. Interesting. So here's what I do when stuff like this happens. One of the things that I try is I will say remove the node modules. Okay, and then reinstall the dependencies. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, node modules gone. Okay, they're gone. npm install. Go. Then I should be able to just run and it works. All right, great. 15 seconds of downtime for you. Hope you got a sip of coffee yourself. Wait, if that worked, so then npm start should work. Nope. Failed. Okay, so why did this failed? Unexpected token render. So I wonder if it's failing because like I'm not getting this render. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But let me go ahead and first eliminate the possibilities of what it might be. So let me just take this out right now. Okay. And let's just try that, see what happens. Oh, you know what? Yeah, get that out of the way. Yes, that might have been it. Okay, compiled successfully. All right, whoops. All right, so I see what happened here. So you see this, this was an incomplete JavaScript statement. If you guys caught that early in the video, you guys are geniuses, and I am focused a little bit too much on the project at hand and not looking around at some of the errors and what's coming out of this. So I should actually be able to put this in here and it should work, right? npm starts. Oh, cool. Where did it say it started? Let's just double check that things look as expected. Okay, are we gonna go there? Oh, command click to follow. Did it. Already done. I'm just gonna go there myself. Localhost. Oh, not 3,000. I think that's 8,000 we want. No? Oh. 80. Okay, cool. So I don't see anything yet because there's one more thing left to do. In our dist folder, we have an HTML file. And notice, oh yeah, here we go, root. Okay. So root needs to be linked into, and it's everything inside of here is going to be React. Okay, so all of React stuff's going to go inside this root. So I need to call that out with just some vanilla JavaScript. And that is going to be in here. Call this root document.get element by ID. Root, boom. Pass that in as the second argument. Saves. Let's check rebuild success. Now we go here. Hello inside a React component. Very cool. That was our config file. And I think that's all we really wanted to do today. Thanks everybody for watching today. My name is Ricky. You're watching the Dev Method. And we finally got our JSX working. And it was a very simple fix that we found. But that's how programming goes. Sometimes we don't see what's the solution as quickly as others. And sometimes the solution is just right under our nose, or in this case, one line above where the error actually stated. So thanks for joining. Look back for the next episode and we'll move a little bit further in our adventure of creating a React app from scratch.